the home of the Berwick Bulldogs. This is WHLM AM, W282CO Bloomsburg, W234BH West Hazleton, W242CY Berwick, and W288CF Danville. Pop Radio, a Seven Mountains Media radio station. Just 1 hour before kickoff, it's time for the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio. A conversation with Berwick Bulldogs head coach Mike Bennett and the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle. Brought to you by First Columbia Bank and Trust. With you every step of the way. Welsh's Towing and Repair, towing, recovery, and lockout services. Axis Gymnastics Academy in Bloomsburg. Independence Ford, Rattle 11 in Bloomsburg. S.J. Kowalski Heating and Cooling, the way the earth intended. First Keystone Community Bank. Yesterday's traditions, tomorrow's visions. Mason's Monogram Service for all your Bulldog merchandise. Robert G. Dent Heating and Air Conditioning in Light Street. Red's Roofing, the Roofing Ninjas in Berwick. Lehigh Valley Health Network, the region's leader in orthopedic and sports medicine. The Mayo Funeral Homes of Berwick and Chickshinny. And by Wagner's Trophies and Engravables. Main Street in Bloomsburg.
Well, after a convincing 49-0 win over Abington Heights last Saturday afternoon in Clark's Summit, the Bulldogs faced the Millionaires of Williamsport tonight here at Crispin Field. Mike, hopefully you have a long and successful career as Berwick's head coach, but you can only ever have one first career win, and yours came Saturday afternoon after two tough losses to start the season. How'd that one feel?
Oh, it felt great, Jim. I mean, in all honesty, though, I really didn't even think about, it being my first one. I was just so happy for the kids, to get that win, because I know the hard work that they put in, and I know things didn't go our way, the first 2 weeks, but they came, they played, they had a great week of practice, and they came to play, and that's what my expectation is for this team. Okay, both sides of the ball and special teams were great, but it was great to see. Yes, it was nice to get your first win, obviously, but like I said, I was just happy for the kids to have that success.
What a day for Spencer Kishball. 3 catches, all of them for touchdowns. And to me, the most impressive one was the shortest one, that 7-yarder to get the scoring started, where it was covered very, very well by Abington Heights. He high-pointed the ball, made the catch. I guess you got to give Matt Winsinski a lot of credit there, too. That's a play that you see a person with Spencer's size, you say, well, they should be able to take advantage of that. But you don't see much of that in high school because it has to be like a perfect play. You see it a lot in the NFL, not in high school. That was a nice play.
Yes, it was. And that's a play that we have been, probably when I first started out on here, we started going on the field in March and April, we started putting that play. We haven't run it yet in a game until that situation. So it's one of those things that we do, every week, throughout the summer. We have plays that, we like against certain defenses, we like against certain opponents. And it just fit. It was the right spot of field. When we felt that either side, Spencer and Dre was open on the other side. We threw we had the same route on the other side. But yeah, great ball by Matt. Okay, great ball by Matt. Great line protection. Okay, that was awesome to see. And yeah, when you have Spencer out there, you can just throw the ball up to him. He'll go up in high point and he's going to grab it.
Jimmy Deandra was out with an injury, so we saw a lot of Mike Vaughn at fullback. How did he do?
He did well. Okay, it was his first, getting regular minutes out there with the offense. He had his assignments. Okay, he did well there. Some things we're going to clean up here in practice. But, for his first time going out there, he did what we needed him to do. And, got out there, he got into some people. He made some key blocks for us on some key plays. And I'm excited for him for the rest of the season.
Coaches like to say it all starts up front. It seems to me your offensive line, Harrison Snyder, Bruce Hartman, Liam Carroll, Jack Andrews, and Chase Shuckers, they certainly got it done on Saturday, and I think they've been pretty solid through the first 3. Would you agree?
I would agree, yes. Obviously, there's improvements to every game, step-wise, assignment-wise, but like I told you before, we have an emphasis on our offensive line this year, okay? As far as they go, okay, us as an offense is going to go, and they have been generally improving for the first 3 weeks. Obviously, start off the gate against Southern, great defense. Another great defense in Valley View, but our kids are steadily improving. They're steadily knowing, the assignment-wise, who we're blocking with a different type of defenses. But, it's great to see them going out there, playing well, along with Rowan Slavinsky, our tight end as well.
We're going to talk a lot about skill position players because Williamsport is filled with them. But, boy, if you win that battle up front, you have a really good chance, don't you?
Yeah, we do. In anything, both offensive and defensive line. You saw against, last week against Abington, our defensive line had their best game. Okay, our front four, they played great. And if we can do that, if we can put pressure, on the offense and get in the backfield, if we can move them off the ball 3-4 yards on offense, that's going to open up everything on both sides.
We'll talk more about that defensive effort last week by the Bulldogs coming up next. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, the roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding, specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas, now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
Northeast Pennsylvania, it's your home. And no matter what stage of life you find yourself in, what you rely on most is security. When that house becomes a home, the moment you get that new car, when your dreams become a reality, it's times like this when you have to look to the experts for advice and financial peace of mind. They're there with innovative products and services to help you with your financial future every step of the way. Together, they will help dreams and goals become reality. They are more than a bank. They're your neighbor. They are First Keystone Community Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 30 years experience and new Bulldog wear for every age, including masks, tees, polos, sweater shirts, jackets, and hats. They even have brand new indestructible silicone cups, koozies, car coasters, decals, and more. Shop at masonsmonogram.com for their new items and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogram for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
You are listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
The Millionaires of Williamsport are here at Crispin Field tonight to take on the Bulldogs. Both teams 1-2. Williamsport coming off a loss to Dallas, while Berwick dominated Abington Heights last Saturday afternoon in Clark Summit. Mike, your team's defense had its moments in the first two games of the season, but hadn't created any turnovers. Saturday, you forced 3, including a 50-yard interception return for a touchdown by Ethan Lear. Considering the talent you have on defense, you ought to get some turnovers, shouldn't you?
You're right, Jim, and that's something that we preach every day at practice. Every time we're going out there, 7-on-7 team defense. Coach Sheptock, we were preaching takeaways, and you're right. The first two games we had 0 takeaways. Okay, obviously we had 3. Against Abington Heights. We put them on a short field a lot of times, and you win that that takeaway ratio, good things are going to happen for you.
Well, your defensive numbers were very, very impressive on Saturday, especially against the run. Abington Heights managed just 11 yards rushing on 19 attempts. What did you do well?
Like I said, up front, I think we did a phenomenal job using our hands and getting off of blocks. With the rotation of people that we had, either at D tackle and D end, the pressure was there. We were getting off of blocks. Our linebackers were triggering fast enough that they were getting off blocks. They were shedding blockers and getting to the ball. And they really didn't have a chance on Saturday.
Well, your team put in a complete effort. We talked about offense and defense. I thought special teams were great. Alex Hacker blocked a punt that led to a score. Trey Wilk returned a punt 85 yards for a touchdown. Luke Peters was 7 for 7 in extra points. There's a lot to like.
Yes, there is, and that's an emphasis, Jim. That we put on here at practice. I mean, we might not have a lot of time for special teams, but we have to be able to trust you to be on our special teams. Most teams, maybe some players are thinking, well, I have to be on kickoff, or why do I have to go out on punt? if I can't trust you to go out on a special teams, how can I trust you on offense, okay, on a third down? Or how can I trust you on defense to get the job done? So you're going to see a lot of our starters out there on punt return, on punt, on kickoff and kickoff return that we trust to get the job done. As you can see, special teams can change a game. Especially with Alex coming in, this is his second block punt now, and it wasn't even a block situation. It was just he saw a gap, he saw he can get through, and got in there, and it was outstanding play.
Luke Peters has been terrific. I thought there might be a drop-off from last year. Brendan Hinkle was so good for this team for a couple of seasons, but Luke has been good kicking off and especially extra points. What's his range? Where would you feel comfortable if you got in a field goal situation? I
could probably feel comfortable with Luke probably around the 40-yard range. Okay, obviously Luke's a soccer player. Okay, and so he has a leg, and he's been in the off season. He's gone to a couple camps. He's been down here every day when he can. Okay, after soccer, kicking and punting and just getting better and just improving at all his things. And he is a delight to see out there.
Well, Williamsport is tonight's opponent here at Crispin Field. Later in the show, Mike will tell us about the Millionaires. But up next, it's the Bulldog Spotlight feature. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
Welch's Towing and Repair proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs and wishes them a successful year. Welch's Towing and Repair has a long tradition of helping. You can call Welch's 24/7 at 759-9737 if you are in need of a tow, jumpstart, tire change, are locked out, or to request them on scene if you're in an accident. Welch's accepts all major insurance and motor clubs, and they offer all types of preventive maintenance and state inspections for cars, trucks, and motorcycles. Welch's Towing and Repair, South Mercer Street in Berwick, and at their South Center Storage Facility, Columbia Boulevard in Berwick.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, the roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding, specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas, now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
Hi, this is Cassidy from the Independence Ford Service Department, Route 11 in Bloomsburg. Does your Ford or Lincoln vehicle need service? Having trouble getting an appointment at your usual service center? At Independence Ford, we can and will take care of all your service needs. Regardless of where you purchase your Ford or Lincoln vehicle, our goal is to get you back on the road. Give me a call for an appointment today at 784-1414.
Come and get a great deal and total satisfaction.
Independence Ford, better people, better prices.
More people in our area are choosing First Columbia Bank and Trust for their home mortgages. Is it time you discover why? First Columbia Bank offers competitive rates along with local expertise, local decisions, and local loan servicing. Let's see what First Columbia can do for you. Call today to get pre-qualified for a home loan from the #1 mortgage lender in our area. Find out more or apply for your mortgage online at firstcolumbiabank.com. First Columbia Bank, with you every step of the way. Equal housing lender.
First Columbia Bank.
You are listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
Here at Crispin Field tonight, the 36th meeting between Berwick and Williamsport. Berwick leads the series 25-10, including a thrilling 27-21 overtime win last season right here. In our next segment, Mike will tell us what he expects to see from the Millionaires, but now it's time for our weekly feature, Bulldog Spotlight. Tonight, the spotlight is on junior defensive end and offensive tackle Harrison Snyder. Mike, Harrison burst on the scene last season as a sophomore. He was very impressive. 22 tackles for loss, 7 sacks from his defensive end position. He already has 3 sacks in 3 games. What makes him so good at defensive end?
I tell you, Harrison is a strong kid. Okay, Harrison, along with Liam, all right, in the off season in the summer, they go bale hay for Liam's grandfather, all right, over at a farm. So these kids are, they're tough, they're strong kids. Okay, Harrison has put in the work. Okay, yes, he played a lot for us last year as a sophomore, but he's getting to come into his own. And not only is he playing DN for us, all right, we mixed him in a little bit at D tackle last week. Okay, and he played great. And so maybe some formations, some different schemes that we want to do, he might be in there. But I tell you what, his get-off, the use of his hands and how strong he is at the point of attack helps Harrison.
Yeah, because 6'1", 210 is not great size for where he's playing.
It's not, but I like those guys. I like, him, Alex Hacker, he's 200 pounds, 205 at the end. But I tell you what, those kids get off the ball. They're strong. They're strong kids. And, they're not letting the tackle. They're not letting the guys get outside edge of them. And that's probably our first thing that we ask of our DNs to have contained, and they're doing a great job.
Well, Harrison's playing a lot more offense this season than he did a year ago. How's he doing at that tackle position?
He's doing great. We asked Harrison last year. I know he came in for, kind of a backup tackle for us, but we had him playing a little bit of tight end as well. So we really worked the position of getting Harrison out of tight end and going back to tackle for us, the left tackle. And he's doing a phenomenal job. He's a smart kid. His footwork is fantastic. Whether we're zone blocking, we're gap blocking, schemes, that's what we're doing. He always knows what's going on. And it's great that he has that head on his shoulder, that he's helping out the rest of the team as well on that line.
I see Harrison Snyder on Friday nights, or in the case of the Abington Heights game, Saturday afternoon. But you see him on a day-to-day basis. How about his practice demeanor, his effort?
What you see in games is what you see at practice. And that's what we try to preach here. The way you practice, obviously, is the way you play. And Harrison is that guy to a T. You come out here, he does what he's supposed to do. All right, he's being a leader out there in the line, and you can see it on Friday/Saturday games.
In the Bulldog Spotlight tonight, junior Harrison Snyder. Tonight, Harrison and his Bulldog teammates take on Williamsport here at Crispin Field. Up next, Mike will tell us about the Millionaires' offense. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
Digging deeper to make ends meet? Now you can get a 26% tax credit with a geothermal heat pump system from Climate Master. Climate Master geothermal systems tap the constant temperature of the earth to provide heating, cooling, and hot water while keeping your home comfortable all year long. And Climate Master systems are so efficient, you'll save up to 70% on your energy bill. The investment in a Climate Master system quickly pays for itself. Contact your local Climate Master dealer, Robert G. Dent Heating and Air Conditioning in Light Street. Go to robertgdentheating-ac.com. Has a sports injury got you down? No one knows sports medicine like Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Their unrivaled sports team has the highest orthopedic success rates in the region. With more than 30 years of experience, they put athletes first and provide same-day appointments. Don't let a sports injury slow you down. Learn more at lvhn.org/ortho or call 833-LV-ORTHO.
When you think of Wagner's Trophies and Engravables, you may only think of trophies, but we're much, much more than that.
We can take care of your wedding gift ideas or gifts for your graduate.
T-shirts and commemorative gifts for your company picnic or family reunion.
Unique gifts, personalized to your every need.
So when you think gifts, think of Wagner's Trophies and Engravables in downtown Bloomsburg. Online at wagnerstrophies.com.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickashinny, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
You are listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
Tonight's Williamsport Berwick game here at Crispin Field is a meeting of two of the winningest high school football programs in the history of the sport in Pennsylvania. Berwick has 835 wins, placing them third all-time, trailing only Mount Carmel and Easton. Williamsport has accumulated 729 wins, placing them seventh in state history. But Mike Pearson is in his first season as the Millionaires head coach. He has a lot of coaching experience, though, both the high school and college ranks. His last job before taking over for Charles Cruz at Williamsport was as an assistant at Lycoming College. Mike, what kind of looks, what kind of schemes are we likely to see offensively from Mike Pearson's team?
Well, here's what the first thing I'm going to tell you. There's two teams that I lost to as my career here at Berwick. Okay, I lost my junior year to ACC. And I lost my senior year to Williamsport. So these guys will always have my attention. And Williamsport always has playmakers. I mean, just this year after year, they have guys that can make plays. And so you're going to see a spread team. All right, and they also like a power spread. Okay, their quarterbacks, number one, all right, is your traditional spread quarterback. where he's going to throw the ball downfield. You know, he's going to lead that team. But number 10, I think his name is
George Whaley.
Okay, Whaley. I tell you what, he does it all for them. He's one of their Wildcat quarterbacks. So when he goes in there, especially at number 4 in the backfield, we're going to have to look out for him either giving, faking, or taking around the end.
Boy, last year at Crispin Field, he was dynamic. He didn't start the game, but he certainly finished it. He had 95 yards rushing, and it was one of those players that every time he has the ball in his hands, you just hold your breath as a defender.
Yes, I mean, and even on film, he made some great catches against Dallas, made some great plays against Pittston. Okay, the films that we have that we've watched him so far. So he's definitely going to be a person of interest for us coming tonight.
You mentioned number 4. That would be Nasir Hennigan. He's in his 3rd year as a starter. He's been their leading rusher the last 2 seasons. What kind of running back is he?
Oh, he's a hard, tough-nosed runner. Okay, you give him an inch, he's going to take it. He made some great plays these last couple games. He's led the way for that offense, I believe, I think the last 3 games. Okay, I think he was their leading rusher. But obviously him, along with Whaley, you know, they put the ball in their hands. They're going to do some phenomenal things.
They do have some terrific skill position players. On the offensive line, well, that's the question mark for them. They only have one starter back from a year ago. That's Austin Best, and he's out with an injury. They've been a little vulnerable so far. Can you take advantage of them?
Well, we're going to try. Okay, we're going to try. Obviously, we're going to try and scheme and game plan, okay, things that they do well, all right? We're going to try to take those away. And obviously, we're going to try to find a weakness, okay, on that line, in that backfield, so we can try and take that away and use that to our advantage.
Up next, Mike will evaluate the Williamsport defense. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick. The roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding. Specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
You are listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
Well, after 2 straight games on the road, the Bulldogs are back in Preston Field here tonight to take on the Millionaires of Williamsport. Mike, when I asked Williamsport coach Mike Pearson for his base defense, he listed a 5-man front, 3 linebackers. Is that what you see most of the time?
Yes. I see a 5-man front, whether you call it a bare front or an odd front, but they have 5 guys. And they also have those three linebackers, whether it be 10, 8, 28, 10, or 22 actually played a little bit, okay, with them. But their front 4, 66 at nose guard, 44 and 20 at their DNs. They're going to create some havoc up front.
When you have a good-sized nose guard, you mentioned number 66. He is Josh Lake. He's 225 pounds. He's a senior. Does that put extra pressure on your center, Liam Carroll?
I think it is. It's not more so the size. It's more so as somebody over you as a center. So now you have to worry about the snap, plus the person over you to get your steps right. So Liam is definitely going to have a challenge along with our guards inside because, 66, he comes off the ball and comes off the ball well, so we're going to have to account for him.
So if I'm a center, I would rather see a 4-4.
If I'm a center, yeah, in some offenses, yes. All right, so you don't have a guy over you. You can get that snap maybe a half a second a little quicker, and then you can get to the, get up to the linebacker depth, or, you get your back block or something like that. But when you have a guy over center that's trying to either come right at you or get into that gap, is there a lot of quick thinking in there? But I think we have a center that can do that.
I asked Mike Pearson who his best defenders are. He named two of those linebackers that you referred to, George Whaley and Deacon Brown, number 28. He's the nephew of the former Williamsport great Gary Brown. Do they impress you on film?
Yes, they do. And listen, these guys can run and they hit. All right, so we have 5 guys on the line coming through all our gaps, but then you have these guys on the back trying to clean up, whether it's going to be a ISO play, whether it's going to be one of our stretch plays, okay? And they're very good cover guys as well, so we have to take account for that.
Williamsport has been vulnerable to the run so far. They lost their last game to Dallas. Dallas amassed a lot of yardage, including 308 yards by one individual, Parker Balesta. Are they vulnerable to the run? Can you take advantage of that?
Any type of scheme, you're going to have your strengths and weaknesses. Now, some of those yards, yes, they had the kid from Dallas had a great game, but some of those plays, they're in the backfield as well. So we don't take account for what they do, and knowing what they do on our offensive line, it could cause problems.
You're trying to get back to things at Berwick from the glories of the past, and one of the things that I always thought was an advantage for Berwick is playing at Crispin Field. This place is something special. It's been the home to Berwick football since 1929, and I think you always got a little advantage during the glory days. People would come in, be just a little bit intimidated. You lost your only home game so far. I guess you want to get something started tonight.
Yes, and you're absolutely right. The atmosphere for our first game against Southern was outstanding. Okay, those are type of atmospheres that I'm used to when I played here. All right, and for us to be able to get back to there, let's say we're trying to get back to there. All right, we definitely need our community and our fans and our alumni to be there supporting this team, and that's what they are right now. They're nothing but supportive. We have great fans. Our community is rallying around us, and I think the kids can feel that. But if we can do that, if we can try and get Crispin Field back to where it was, it's a great advantage for us.
You mentioned that loss to Williamsport in your senior year. I've heard stories of that there were PA announcers at different stadiums in the region that refused to give the score when they heard it because they didn't think Berwick could lose to Williamsport like that. But it happened. And in the long run, you went on to win a state title. It might have been good for you, although I'm sure it didn't seem like that at the time.
It definitely didn't seem like it at the time, but it definitely was a catapult. I remember I didn't play that game because I broke my ankle previously in April that year. So I think that was the last game I didn't play. I was slated to come off against Pottsville the week after. But, yeah, that hurt. I mean, I'm 45 years old, and that still hurts. And I still think about Jamie Allen, Matt Mapes, their kicker, and made some great plays. A waggle play that they ran 3-4 times that they called us. But it's funny the things that, you remember, about your past football experience.
Well, Mike, good luck in erasing that memory here tonight.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.
Join us again next Friday for another edition of the Coach Bennett Show prior to the Bulldogs game against Wilkes-Barre area here at Crispin Field. Stay tuned now for Williamsport and Berwick football on Pop Radio.
You've been listening to the Coach Bennett Show, brought to you by First Columbia Bank and Trust. With you every step of the way. Welsh's Towing and Repair, towing, recovery, and lockout services. Axis Gymnastics Academy in Bloomsburg. Independence Ford, Rattle Levin in Bloomsburg. S.J. Kowalski Heating and Cooling, the way the earth intended. First Keystone Community Bank. Yesterday's traditions, tomorrow's visions. Mason's Monogram Service for all your Bulldog merchandise. Robert G. Dent Heating and Air Conditioning in Light Street. Red's Roofing, the Roofing Ninjas in Berwick. Lehigh Valley Health Network, the region's leader in orthopedic and sports medicine. The Mayo Funeral Homes of Berwick and Shikshini. And by Wagner's Trophies and Engravables. Main Street in Bloomsburg.